Good day to the graduates and families of the class of 2022. I'm Judy, Acting Superintendent of the Smyrna School District. I'm honored to speak on behalf of the Smyrna School District Board of Education and the administrative teams of our 8 wonderful schools. To say we, the teachers, the support staff, administrators, the school board, are excited to see you here today is an understatement. Your high school career has been unconventional, unprecedented, never experienced before. All of those adjectives and more have been said and said again, too many times to recall. In spite, we are here turning the tassel on it all. Your first adventure as a high school graduate starts when you walk off this field, after you take some beautiful pictures with your families and friends and decide what to do next. Opportunity will present itself. You will have many options. You will make decisions, some good, some not so good. Seriously, please. If you don't make a bad decision in your late teens, 20s, or 30s, then I want to know the secret. We've all done that, more than once, or even twice, or even 10 times. I say more than I would like to this day. When you know better, you do better, even at my age. When decision making isn't going your way, and you're in the headspace and don't know where to turn, I have the answer for you. Don't stand idle. Don't feel defeated. Just turn around. Turn back to your roots here in Smyrna. Call a friend, email a teacher, come visit a principal. Though you walk away from us when you leave this field today, the opportunity to walk back is always an option. We are here to say it's okay. Try this. We are here to say it's not okay, but we still care. We're here to say that the journey is just as important as the destination. The relationships you created here in our schools are what will hold you up in those dark times and keep you lifted when there is light. We are the foundation beyond your given or chosen family. We are here because we love and cherish the children of this community. The future teachers, union workers, the military, the firefighters, the police, accountants, and farmers, restaurateurs, the professional students, moms, dads, and citizens of the world. So, when you have opportunities in life, like Robert Frost said in his most famous poem, 2 roads diverge in the woods, and you have that choice of which path to take, make the choice that's yours, unique to who you are. Make the choice that may be challenging, but just as rewarding. Make the choice that gives meaning to your life. Make that choice that feels right. We will be here to shine the light down the path for you and help you find your way. If I can just add one more message as you leave the nest today, very simple words. Be kind. Say please, say thank you, hold the door, give a smile. All the things your kindergarten teacher told you to do to be a good friend hold true as you walk off this field and start to make those decisions and take those opportunities. Kindness is worth more than the price of gas. Kindness is actually free. It will pay you in the long run. Kindness is infectious and beautiful. Kindness is contagious. We need that here in Smyrna and Clayton and Kenton and a little bit of Townsend. We need that here in Delaware and on the East Coast. We need kindness everywhere. You can be kindness. You can give it and feel it. You can be the love. Love each other. Love your fellow Eagles. Love your experiences, choices, and challenges. Fill yourself with love and kindness. And know that we, your Smyrna Eagles family, are always thinking of you with kindness and love. It makes all the difference.
Smyrna High School, Class of 2022. I am extremely proud of you. Despite many obstacles, you have earned the right to be awarded your diploma today. Additionally, you have put in the time and effort to plan out the next step for your future. This is evidenced by the following facts. 4% of you have committed to serving our country in a branch of the military. 4% of you have committed to completing an apprenticeship or trade program. 9% of you have plans in place to begin your career, and 75% of you have committed to continuing your education in the college setting. Additionally, you have earned approximately $2 million in scholarship money, and $87,000 of that is from our own local community groups, who we thank sincerely. No matter which of these next steps you have chosen, there is one thing I ask that you keep as a guiding force in your lives: peace. I found 2 definitions of peace when preparing this speech, because that's what speechwriters do, right? Merriam-Webster's definition is freedom from disquieting or oppressive thoughts or emotions. Dictionary.com defines peace as a state of mutual harmony between people or groups. You can focus on whichever of these definitions speaks to you the most. My point is the same either way. We do not have peace right now. There is too much anger, too much hatred, and too much suffering. But what keeps me going every day is the belief that this can change. And I challenge each of you to think about how you can make an impact to move us towards true peace. Start small. Look at your own circle of people. How can you be a positive voice and representative in your own circle to bring peace to those people? Once you have accomplished that, think bigger. Reach beyond your circle to see how else you can positively impact the community around you. Every single one of us can do this. Every single one of us can do this every day to impact this change. It does not matter what your career is, where you live, your financial status, your skill set, or even your past choices. We each can start today and continue for every day after today to dedicate ourselves to this goal. Graduates, please step up to this challenge. We need you. I am blessed to have been able to be a part of your lives. I wish you safety, happiness, and peace in all the days ahead of you. Thank you.
Well, seniors, all I can say is we at least got the spirit stick. All jokes aside, it's so crazy preparing a graduation speech for you today. The past 4 years have flown by, especially since 2 of them were strange to say the least. I am filled with immense pride as I see a group of students who have overcome, persevered, adapted, and stayed strong through times of uncertainty and challenge. Thinking of freshman year, what a time that was. You were in school full-time, trying to figure out how to be a small fish in the big pond. You still thought you'd have a junior year. We somehow built a sexual innuendo of a homecoming float and had one of our only normal school years. You all have grown up so much since freshman year and have become strong, independent men and women. Sophomore year, we still lost float, but at least it was PG-13 and super cool, and we totally destroyed the other classes at the pep rallies. And then that brings us to the last year of virtual learning. We never saw that coming, but you made it through a pandemic. You battled isolation, sickness, depression, and came out stronger. And I commend each and every one of you for your strength. Here you are today at the end of your high school career, face to face, without masks. Some of you I actually only know from just your eyes, but we made it. We got all of the things you cherish as a senior, like a senior picnic, homecoming, an amazing float, prom, powder puff, and battle of the classes. Oh, and obviously the best prank ever, which by the way, all of my stuff is still wet. I won't lie, what is to come is kind of scary and hard. Being an adult is hard and trying, but you have embodied our core values every single year for the past 4 years. You have never given up and have gotten through and made it here today. You have been conditioned and strengthened these past 4 years, and because of this, you are prepared. You are prepared to go out into the world and persevere through any challenges it can create. I'm so proud of you all, Smyrna Eagles, as you soar for one final time into the great big grand world. Thanks, and I'll miss you.
Good morning. Class of 2022, we have finally made it. The day we've looked forward to is here, and we are graduating. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to thank the people that have truly had an impact on me over the past 4 years. First and foremost, my parents. I cannot thank you enough for the support and unconditional love that you've given me. You've allowed me to flourish into the person that I am today in an environment full of love, humor, and empathy. Thank you for always being the cool parents. To the many teachers that I've had over the past 4 years, who've gone above and beyond their roles as teachers to make me feel comfortable, included, and safe every single day, thank you. And finally, to the many parents who have helped all of us strive for success in every way possible, even if it meant staying at float until 5 a.m., and our float was still better than the juniors no matter what the judges say, your support and unconditional encouragement over the years has not gone unnoticed, and I, for one, am extremely grateful for all of you. Now, class of 2022, I would like to take a few moments to reflect on our journey together. The year 2008 was the start of my and many of my classmates' journey on the road of education. As we explored elementary school, the only things that mattered to us were what silly bands we had, when our recess was, and who would win field day. We began to meet all of our friends and made memories that have followed us through school. As we continued through the grades, many of our ideas began to shift from childhood fun to just wanting to grow up. We began to talk to each other about what we wanted to do and how great it was going to be when we were older. We moved away from begging our parents to stay up late to watch the new episode of iCarly and began to be more social, hanging out with our friends and having sleepovers while we tried to coordinate whose parents would drive who. Finally, we made it to high school. We were all incredibly nervous about what life would be like at the bottom of the food chain, and we looked up to the seniors to try and figure out exactly where we all fit in. In this stage of our lives, we began to expand our circles, filling them with new friends and family that we've all grown with over the past 4 years. Although our first year was filled with nerves, we began to look forward to the parties we'd attend, the chance to finally drive ourselves places, and even graduation day. As time went on, we all found our places in the school and began to support one another through any challenges that came our way, even if it was just telling someone there was an assignment due in 20 minutes or telling them to download Photomath. As this chapter of our lives is coming to a close, we are once again filled with nerves about what comes next. Many of us will be going to college, the workforce, or even the military within the next year, and the people we've gotten so used to seeing every day will begin to fade as we all go down our individual paths. I watched a TikTok and I thought the message behind it had to be shared. The message is this: life is full of temporary feelings. The excitement that we felt during our first pep rally was temporary. The comforting feeling of being held by our parents when we need support is temporary. The joy that we all had when we were told that we'd be getting 2 weeks off of school on a random Friday in March of 2020 was temporary. Although this sounds incredibly sad and may even dampen the mood a bit, it's important to know that all the feelings we have are temporary. The painful goodbyes that we have to make, the last hugs to the ones we love, and the feeling of sadness as we reflect on old memories are all temporary. The world moves at such a fast pace where people are uncaring and unkind, so don't get stuck on the little things in life. Don't be afraid to give yourself a little grace as you manage the hurdles that life may throw at you. Go out, spread kindness, make memories, laugh a lot, and be your authentic self, because at the end of the day, everything is temporary. I wish you all a successful and dream-filled future where you reach for the stars and don't stop until you get what you want. Thank you so much, class of 2022, and congratulations.
Hello everyone. Today at this moment our class of 2022 is taking a step into a bigger world. Whether it is the immediate workforce or additional education, everyone graduating today is advancing themselves to the next level of their life. As our high school years conclude, I'd like to recognize, in my opinion, the single most important attribute we have here at Smyrna: our individual capacity to think. At Smyrna, we are known and uniquely identified as a group of individuals. There is no greater classification for groups of people than to describe themselves as individuals, because the individual surpasses the context of a group, and that they do not conform to any criteria or standards imposed by any one category. The ability to think freely demonstrated at Smyrna High is a concept that I believe many students, adults, and even entire districts have continually missed. Oftentimes many schools hinder these products. You're taught as a student to think a certain way and to act accordingly. Yet our ascending class rejects this, for we are each a different person with a different identity, who can think of solutions in our own different manners, while all still coming to the best possible solution. The individual therefore is able to be confronted by a problem or predicament, whether in their own lives specifically or in the community as a whole, and combat it using a creative platform to employ eccentric explications to solve extraordinary issues. As Friedrich Nietzsche once put it, "You have your way, I have my way. As for the right way, the correct way, and the only way, it does not exist." Our minds are the most powerful weapon in terms of combating inevitable engagements for the future. But while Smyrna High is far from perfect, I do believe we as a school, especially my fellow students, have asserted our position such that the individual identity will never be washed away. This has been demonstrated by my class fairly recently. Regardless of what you think of the many controversies throughout our school year, our students have been able to organize themselves in such a way that was both influential and inspiring. This function alone affirms my own belief that Smyrna has flourished as a place where everyone can stand united in their own personal individuality, in which we champion free thought above all else. So while we brace ourselves for the future, it is necessary to continue the practices we as students have gained throughout our high school years in pursuing our own ideals. So congratulations, soon-to-be alumni of Smyrna. We made it through. From nerve-wracking finals week to a global pandemic, we pushed our way through it. Through these moments, we kept our greatest strengths with us and continued to create a pathway towards our future. There's no doubt our knowledge and skills we have picked up from our years at Smyrna will contribute towards paving the way for a greater future. And so I ask everyone, continue to think. Thank you all and congratulations.
Hello, class of 2022. Congratulations, we made it. I want to give a huge shout out to all of the faculty, friends, and most important family that got the class of 2022 to this point. A huge shout out to my family who supported me in all of my endeavors in high school. Looking back at the last 4 years of high school, the only thing that has remained constant is change. Living through a global pandemic along with the normal high school struggles has been an experience that no other generation can relate to or even begin to fathom. Going back to a year from now, many of us were just being released from the confines of our homes or rooms. We had just closed out our first full year of the virtual/hybrid education model, and as a result, we missed so many pivotal moments as a class and school community. In many ways, I mourn our high school experience. Freshman year was probably the year we were closest as a class, getting used to the odd place that high school is, enjoying our first float, pep rallies, homecoming season, making new friendships, and ultimately a traumatic death that impacted our entire community. In all of the freshman year endeavors, we formed a strong bond as a class, the closest bond we've probably had thus far. Sophomore year felt like we were finally beginning to get the hang of things, and our last pep rally before the pandemic replays in my mind so very often. I vividly remember thinking that we would be getting 2 weeks off of school, but what turned into a year and a half away from peers and friends was very unexpected. Needless to say, going into our senior year at the end of a pandemic has been very bittersweet. It has made every single event and tradition that much more meaningful. As much as we anticipated the return to our normal high school experience that we had just gotten a taste of, we blinked, and now it's time to say goodbye. As we look forward to the next stages of our life, it is important that we do not take time for granted. Make the big decision now. Cherish the little moments, and remember that the moments that you are currently living through eventually do become memories. I can say personally that high school was and will always be one of the most important stages of my life. For me, high school was more than just school. It was the State Board of Education, school board meetings, bill signings, and much more. For all of us, the high school experience has been a learning experience. And one thing is for sure, the adversity that this generation has dealt with will equip us in moving on to the next chapter that each of our stories hold. As we move on as a class, I am anxious to see where life takes all of us, but I know that the class of 2022 will be okay because we've gotten this far. Welcome staff, family, friends, and fellow graduates. My name is Mariah Carmona, and I'm class of 2022's Vice President. First, I'd like to give my congratulations to all the graduates and to your parents and families who are celebrating with you all today. This is such a bittersweet moment for all of us. I'm sure we can all agree that this has been and will always be one of the hardest 4 years of our lives, but definitely the most unforgettable. As I look back to all that we've been through together, from a pandemic to a protest for our voices to be heard, I'm happy to say we are all leaving here with the correct knowledge and wisdom to share with the world. I am so proud of all of you and glad that we can share together the most achievable and memorable time of our lives. All that you went through these past 4 years of high school has shaped you into the person that you are today. And with that, I advise you to take all of your positives as well as your negatives to your next life because there is no growth without your failures. Every single one of you hold the courage and the potential to change the cruelties of the world that we have all faced. Never forget that you all are the biggest blessings this world will receive, and this is not the end of your journey. Whether you're going to trade school, college, army, or just taking a gap year, always remember our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. I cannot wait to see what we will offer this life. Again, congratulations to the class of 2022.
Hello, fellow classmates and soon-to-be graduates. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jesica Payton, and I am your class secretary. For those of you who do know me, you know I usually have a lot to say, but because of certain circumstances, I'm going to keep this short. I've never been a big reader, but one quote that really resonated with me from a book I read, well, watched because I prefer movie versions, is from All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, was that the great thing about life is that you can be someone different to everyone. We can impact people in many ways. In the future, some of us may find ourselves in office buildings, hospitals, helping civilians in blue-collar jobs, or maybe even on a stage in front of thousands. But no matter what you choose to do with your life, or where you end up going, I encourage you to live a life that leaves others positively impacted. As you are going to be someone different to everyone, you won't be able to control how others may perceive you, but you can control how you live your life. In the Smyrna School District, we are told annually about the core values, and all 5, respect, integrity, compassion, perseverance, and responsibility, are all characteristics that we can carry with us as we depart Smyrna High. So how will you use those values to impact others? The kind of person I aspire to be for everyone is a kind person, and I thoroughly encourage everyone to simply be kind as well. With that being said, I am so excited and can't wait to walk alongside the class of 2022. Lastly, I just want to thank my best friend, Alyssa Morris, for being the one person I could always count on, my family, my classmates, and my teachers who have helped me keep passing grades all 4 years. Specifically, Mrs. McLean and Mrs. Vasquez for continuing to push me my senior year, Mr. Nebby and the Regiment of Red for giving me the best memories from my entire time here in Smyrna High. Lastly, I want to shout out Shane Wade, and depending on when you watch this video, have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night.
Good morning, Smyrna High students, staff, and families. My name is Ebenezer, and I am your senior class historian. We are all gathered here to acknowledge the past 4 years of our lives. Although we were barely prepared for high school, we somehow managed to make it to the finish line. We went through a virus that had us experience a portion of our sophomore year and our whole junior year at home. Thankfully, the only virus I dealt with were the ones on my computer from the shady websites I used for homework answers. It's mind-blowing to think about how much we've all grown up. We went from wearing Vans to driving Vans, from the first day of school nerves to the last day of school excitement, multiple firsts, and many, many never agains. But I stand in front of you today as a stranger. I transferred to Smyrna at the beginning of the senior year. Looking back 8 months later, I can say I had a memorable time because of you all. I came into this school year expecting the worst. Change is something that I take well, but moving schools during your final year of high school is like taking an AP class in all the subjects you hate. It's extremely challenging, which is why the message I want to get across to you is that although change can be scary, the memories and the people that await you will help you get through it. Due to the love and friendship I received from the Smyrna High community, I was able to feel right at home in this unfamiliar environment. I do not know the story from freshman year that makes you all crack up every time you think about it, or that one teacher you all collectively dislike. But from the 1 year I got to share with you all, I can tell that you are all amazing, talented, and passionate. I have made friends in this short amount of time that I will keep in contact with, even after graduation. And if you told me that I would be as comfortable as I am in my classes, I would not have believed you. I shared many laughs with my classmates, enjoyed the seasonal concerts with the symphonic band, ran and grew alongside my teammates during my short-lived indoor track career, experienced brotherhood from the Gentlemen of Distinction group, led my class as a senior class officer and a member of the SGA, and even participated in a peaceful protest led by the Black Student Union. Standing here reciting this speech to you is a testament of how much you have all made me feel like a part of the family, and I thank you for that. I hope you never lose that quality to make people feel invited and welcome, because as you are about to start the rest of your lives, you never know who will need your companionship. People will forget what you said and what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Thank you for an unforgettable year, Smyrna High Class of 22.
Good morning, faculty, family, and friends, but most importantly, us, the class of 2022. I'm Jabrielle Boyd. We're about to complete a major milestone some of us have talked about for years, high school graduation. I'm so honored to have been your class treasurer all 4 years. I know that every single soul in this room has worked so hard to get to this day. From our sophomore year being cut short, our junior year not being one lick of normal, and our senior year being the district's test dummies. We showed them that we will always fight for what we believe in.
but most importantly, through all this craziness, finding ourselves, or for some of us, in the process to finding ourselves. Graduation isn't the end, but the start to new beginnings. This piece of paper will launch us into our futures that are meant to be. No matter if it's going into the workforce, trade school, military, taking a gap year, or continuing our education in college and playing sports, I'll still applaud you. This thing called life is all about growing. We will grow into new opportunities, make new relationships, and new skills that will carry with us for the rest of our lives. And we can't stop here. This moment should be an example that we all can accomplish our goals as long as we put our minds to it, showing us that we can do hard things. Thank you, Smyrna High and fellow classmates. Remember, birds of a feather flock together. Thank you for voting me class treasurer, and congratulations again, class of 2022.
Good morning to the class of 2022 and all of our support teams. I am Gabryele Carter. I want to start off by saying congratulations to the class of 2022. We are doing what no class has been able to do in 2 years. If you can survive a year of Zoom calls and Google Classroom and come back to what feels like a time portal of new styles, ranging from mullets to velour sweatsuits and the SHS slump page, I believe you can adapt to just about anything. Our class has come a long way since 2018, when we first entered this marvelous building. We all entered the school excited for the hype of high school, although it was no euphoria, but it was packed with excitement. Our first official school dances, pep rallies, and a plethora of sports to watch and participate in. We entered the school wanting to make our presence known, establishing new clubs like Black Student Union, winning a few spirit sticks, and a couple of us might be known for being everywhere but the classroom. We were not silent, and that was what made us different. We were faced with some challenges, and every great comeback story has a struggle. But class of 2022, we overcame the tough times. We came back strong from the pandemic. I applaud every one of you for showing up to early Zoom calls, uploading plenty of flipograms, hitting turn in on one of plenty missed assignments. You were trying, and that is what really counts. I also want to thank our staff and teachers, because they were pushing through too, doing all they could to help us have a great year. They showed up every day, staring at black boxes representing their students, and teaching a way nobody could have ever anticipated. Yes, the pandemic was horrible and took what some may call our most important year, but we can't let that define us. Look how far we have come. The last 4 years have shaped us to be more understanding, more aware of one another, and we were able to learn more about ourselves. The pandemic gave us more time to change our style, spend time with family, make online friends, start some new hobbies, and practice our dance skills on TikTok. We had more time to take pictures and establish a good social media presence. Although we were physically apart, keeping in touch on social media made it easy not to skip a beat. After all the anticipation of 2021, seemed like we were starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We were able to have a sense of normalcy back in the building. No variants or masks were able to hold us back. We still had a homecoming and prom, club meetings, and our sports were able to come back, and we all fought harder than ever. We had a lot of success this year with our field hockey team going to the state championship for the first time in our school's history, our superior music program, and other state winners from clubs like FFA, BPA, and Ed Rising. Our class came back stronger, and we empowered each other along the way. We helped our underclassmen through hard times, as well as teaching the ways of being strong leaders. Class of 2022 is a class of unity. We fought for what we believed in, with protests, petitions, and plenty of Google Forms. Despite all of our differences, we are still a family. We came in as individuals, and today we are leaving as one. I am proud of you for knowing what you stand for and being the strong individuals you are today. No matter if you are exploring a trade, going to college, or still trying to figure it out, you should be proud of yourself because you are walking today and your story has just begun.